Hello, fitness business nerds. What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Business for Unicorns podcast. We're recording this the day after the holiday weekend, so I'm trying to screw my brain back on and have an intelligent conversation for you all today. But just as a quick reminder before we dive in, if you are loving this podcast and you listen to us every week or twice a week, please share it with your friends and let us know what you want us to talk about. Email me, michael@businessforunicorns.com. And today I'm here with Pete. Welcome, my friend.
Good to be back to the rock pile. I'm feeling the same post long weekend kind of haze that you are, so I can relate.
Yeah, same. I mean, in utter transparency, I just had to restart recording this podcast because I just totally botched the intro that I've said 1 billion times. So that's where my brain is at today. But I'm excited about our topic because we said we were going to talk a little bit about business partnerships. And here's my framing for this, and you tell me if you have a different framing for this, Pete. But I think more and more we're seeing a lot of gym owners who are just kind of exhausted by chasing paid digital advertising. They're exhausted by trying to run Facebook ads and Instagram ads. Some people are still boosting posts, and some people are still really great at that digital ad game. But more and more people are just kind of exhausted by it that I'm talking to, and they're wanting to find alternatives to generate leads and get people in the door. And so more and more I find clients coming to us asking for non-paid advertising lead generation strategies. And so today we want to kind of just talk about one of those that we recommend, which is building partnerships. And typically when I think about building partnerships, I'm thinking mainly about B2B partnerships, other small business owners in your area that you can partner with who maybe you share an avatar with, and you can do some stuff together. And I'll talk about that stuff in the podcast, but that's my framing for why I think this is really kind of an important topic. Anything you would add, Pete?
Right out of the gate, I was going to say what this is not is a conversation on business partnerships as far as colleagues in-house, which is what I first thought when you said business partnerships, because we do get a lot of questions on that front.
Yep.
A worthy conversation, which I think we've recorded, and we will continue to record thoughts on that on another day. But to me, this as a performance training gym owner, this is more often than not partnerships with adjacent business owners, so club programs, interacting with the directors of those, or potentially local businesses. Like, for example, we've got a cafeteria in our building that on and off over the years, depending on the vendor, has been happy to allow us to basically design smoothies that they'd be willing to make. And we just say to them, charge whatever you want. These are the ingredients that you should put in there. And by the way, if you'd like to buy the supplements, you can buy them from us. And, we'll keep coupons on site for your people. And you deliver this complimentary product that just makes our service better and monetize our people. Fine with me. So to me, business partnerships in this sense need to be definitively mutually beneficial as we get into these conversations.
Yeah, 100%. I 100% agree. Yeah, well, I mean, I'll kick this one off. And I'm going to speak maybe to kind of a Gen Pop version of what I think a good playbook is for business partnership. And then Pete, if you want to jump in with maybe a sports performance specific example. So I'll say this, my friends, that I think the first thing that matters when you're thinking about a business-to-business partnership is thinking about who your avatar is, right? When you're doing any marketing exercise like this, the first thing is, who are you trying to speak to? What kind of people are you trying to get in front of to generate more leads? And that will determine so much about who you want to partner with. Right. For example, at MFF, we've been playing around more and more with business partnerships like this recently. And we picked places that are near our location in Hell's Kitchen. We pick places where our avatar goes, where they care about health and wellness, and they share some of our values, perhaps. So we recently have been partnering with a local pickleball club because pickleball is kind of big these days. A lot of people are going there. We also partnered recently with a massage therapy place, among others. But the reason we picked those is because we're really clear that our avatar cares about those things and will likely go to those places. And the people who go to those places will likely care about what we do. So I think first things first is just really clear on who are you trying to get in front of. And then I really think there's probably different tiers in the playbook I would use for how I would reach out. There's probably like 3 different tiers of engagement that I would pitch. So first things first, once I've identified the companies that we align with in terms of avatar and values, I would just go find a key decision maker there. Just literally pound the pavement, show up, with a smile on my face. I think all the strategies I see about there about give them a gift or bring them something, take it or leave it. I don't think people give a shit about you bringing them some gift. I mean, it's nice, right? But I think if you show up and make a connection with a decision maker there, and then your whole pitch is how you can create kind of a win-win scenario for both you and them, and you come with a menu of options that you're willing to offer, and you hope they're willing to offer in return, that kind of clarity, like some other business owner walked in the doors of Mark Fisher Business tomorrow and said, hey, I just want to pitch you on a few ideas I think would be better for your business, better for my business, and we want to partner with you on these. I would listen, right? I don't need to bring me a fruit basket, right? I'm interested that you walked in the door, took the initiative to get to know me personally, come talk to me face to face, and bring me some ideas about how we can grow our businesses together. I think that's all that's needed. And then I think what goes on my menu, I mentioned, I think of it in kind of tiers. The first tier is like, this is just maybe the dating phase, is can we both agree to maybe share information about each other's businesses in each other's businesses? Right, which might mean like, can I leave some postcards on your front desk? Can I hang a flyer in your front window? Right, that's just the basic first tier of business partnerships. Is like, can we just build more awareness of our brand in each other's spaces? Second thing, I think, and this is if someone has a space, right? Not all your partners might have a physical space, but many of them will. So the second tier I think of, can we share content for each other? So that might look like, hey, maybe one day a week we do an Instagram takeover for your business, so your clients get to know us. Maybe one day a week you do that for us, so our clients get to know you. Or maybe I publish a blog on your newsletter once a month. So we're sharing content with each other that gets their clients to get to know us and what we do a little bit better, and vice versa. I think of that as like the second tier of possible partnership engagement. And the third tier is really, we're doing some shit together. Right? The third tier I think about is like, okay, let's host an event together. Maybe let's host a charity event together. Pick a local charity. That charity invites people. We all invite people. And throughout all of these interactions, I'm going to sneeze, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. I muted myself first. But through all these engagements, these in-person collaborations, the benefit we get from them is both awareness in terms of inviting everyone to come to this event we're hosting, but we also get to collect the names and phone numbers and email addresses of everyone who comes, right? So it's at that third level where you're most likely to start kind of collecting new leads. You can certainly do that at the previous level. If, for example, you say, hey, let's share content on each other's emails, but also let people opt into our email who read that blog post I sent you, right? You can start to actually generate leads, I think, at the second tier more directly. But I think you really need to build up your trust in a partnership. Like, I'll speak for myself. I need to build trust in another business. They're going to do what they say they're going to do, that their avatars are actually engaged, the people who are on their Instagram or on their email lists are actually opening them and engaging with them. So I think, all of that means that they're a more valuable partner to us. So before I really invest time in, let's say, producing an event together or hosting something together, I really want to make sure that they're showing up. So those are the kind of three tiers. Like, let's share information about each other with each other's clients. Let's actually share content together. And then let's actually do shit together, where it's like I do a lunch and learn for your team, or you do one for mine, or I invite your clients over to our place for a happy hour, and then vice versa, hosting events together. Those are the three tiers. It could go beyond that for sure, but that's kind of my short, well, not so short. That's my 6-minute framework about it. Is that making sense, Pete? Anything you would add to that?
Yeah, I agree with all of those things. And they do translate to the performance space as well. I want to bring you kind of back to the earlier days of our operation when we were in a smaller footprint and we were asking ourselves questions of this nature. And it really came down to us saying, we're very niched. Obviously, we've got a pretty specific type of client who comes through the door, athletes, and then more specifically baseball playing athletes. And we came to realize that there are service offerings that are complementary to our product that can make our product more effective. Mm-hmm. So for example, let's say manual therapy or physical therapy. And then there are service offerings where we are the complementary piece, where we can actually make someone else's product more effective. And I need to think about it from both places. Now with the kind of concept of things that can beef up our skill set, I started kind of with the book Made to Stick by Chip and Dan Heath, where we asked ourselves, well, what could make our business more sticky? What are the things that our clients are doing outside of our space, whether we deliver it to them or not? And for us with these baseball players, that meant they are going out and getting hitting instruction. They're going out and getting pitching instruction. Some of them are paying for service providers who help with designing recruiting videos. And some of them are contracting sports psychologists. And there are just a lot of different pieces to the overall puzzle that these athletes are putting together to put themselves in the best position to, say, play at the college level or pursue a dream of playing professionally. And early on, we asked ourselves, okay, who are the places or the people or the places that we want to refer this business out to, so that when our clients do happen to bring up that question, we can look connected. We can be the connector in their life and make a meaningful impact outside of our gym as well. So we'd say, oh, I know the perfect hitting instructor you need to work with. Or this is a pitching coach that I would send my own kid to. This is who you should go to. And those were the business partnerships we're talking about. Because we would say to those people, hey, why don't you come on into our gym and train with us during staff lift? Why don't you come in totally complimentary? Just see what our kind of internal community looks like, see what we do, see that we are nice, sane people, see that we're very serious about helping our clients and about our craft. And we just want to learn about what you do. You want to come in and we'll have those conversations and figure out how we can help you. And then it's just mutually beneficial. It goes both ways. We're looking for ways to reciprocate. And so I say that this was early on because there was a time when we didn't have a footprint that could accommodate all of those independent contractors or bring those professionals under our specific umbrella and make them employees. We can do that today. So what was business partnerships back in the day are now employment relationships, because I have a pitching coordinator on my team. We have a manual therapist in our building. We have a physical therapy clinic that is literally growing by the day. They just onboarded their fourth full-time practitioner this morning. And all of these complementary pieces that make our business stickier, make it more of a one-stop shop for our clients, are still business partnerships of the likes that we're talking about. I'm just not going out and hitting the pavement, going door to door and being like, can I leave a flyer here? But I'm having meetings with them constantly about how we can better cross interface as far as what we're communicating to our clients, so that they, one, feel like we are all speaking to each other, so that there's this cohesive approach. The physical therapists are talking to the coaches who are designing the strength programs, and those coaches are talking to the pitching coaches who are designing throwing programs, and making the clients feel like there are a lot of minds working on their problem. And then beyond that, we're talking about how we can possibly order or offer better rates to each other's clients, or how we can bundle services in a way that make it more attainable, or I should say more accessible to our mutual clients. Things like that are the business partnerships that are taking place here. And thankfully, a lot of the time they're taking place just like in my office or on the other side of the door, but they are still the same basic framework of what you're talking about, which is how can we work together to push each other's agenda forward in a way that is in the best interest of the client.
Yeah, 100%. And I love that yours was focused more on kind of a referral partnership specifically, because I think it's a great way to think about it. Because certainly we have a bunch of people that we refer people to at MFF, practitioners who make who supplement or complement what we do, and I think that's a great different kind of partnership that's totally worthy. I also love that you explained your trajectory was early on. Those were all external people you were referring folks to, and you were hoping that it was reciprocal and they were going to refer folks back to you. And over time, some of those people have actually come in house. Now they're actually part under your roof, which not everyone will get to do who's listening. But I think it's a great roadmap for what this could look like. Going back to your earlier days, one of the things I see when people are building referral partnerships specifically, that's a challenge, is that referral partnerships require that the person you're partnering with to refer remembers to talk about you, and then has some process by which they connect their clients or refer their clients to you. And I often see that's where referral partnerships fall flat, right? They don't guarantee results because it's just based on that chiropractor's front desk worker remembering to talk about you, or that physical therapist remember to talk about you, right? Or whatever it is. And so can you talk a little bit about how do you bridge that gap? How do you make referral partners remember you to talk about you and then bring people to you on a regular basis?
Early
Hello, my friends. Michael here. I'm interrupting this podcast briefly to make sure you heard about an upcoming course we're offering at Business for Unicorns. The course is called Coaching Conversations, and it's about helping you have confident conversations when the stakes are high and emotions are high. The course has been one of our most popular courses we've ever offered at Business for Unicorns, and I teach it. It's 2 days long. It's happening on Zoom, so all of you are welcome to join, and it is Friday, October 14th and October 15th. 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. You can learn more at businessforunicorns.com/coaching conversations. And if you sign up by October 2nd, you'll save $300 on registration, which is pretty rad. So I hope to see you all there. Bye.
Early on, we did a lot of complimentary training. Like I said, we would try and bring those people into our facility to experience it so that we became part of the fabric of their personal life. And so that meant we had high school varsity baseball coaches who were training entirely free, coming in and experiencing our services, and us just doing them a solid so that they are better educated on how to talk about what we're doing, and they had a more comprehensive understanding of what we're doing. But then, like I said, they realized we were good people. That was kind of the biggest tipping point for us, is that they felt like when they came in, we weren't hitting with the sales pitch. I was never saying, who are your captains and how can I get in front of them? It was really just, hey, do you want to get in here tomorrow? We got a good group coming in to train. You know, on Saturdays, the staff gets together and trains, and then we all hang out and barbecue afterwards or something like that. You should come. I think you'd fit right in. Organically, that results in them telling their clients or their athletes on their rosters, I know the place you should go if you haven't got a gym in mind that you're already working with. Early on, we also played this game with a lot of different service providers. So it was very important that we didn't allow people to feel like we were giving them an exclusive, because that would put us in a weird spot. Because it's tough to really fully vet people when you don't work with them for a long time. And, you know, you're not calling references on the local chiropractor that you have done, you know, a little bit of work with. And so we just made it very clear to people that we're here to play nice. We're going to be Switzerland. You know, you're not going to find us bad mouthing anyone in the area. You're not going to find us selling, you know, any one service professional as elite compared to others. Our angle was always, we are going to do what's in the best interest of our athletes. And that includes factors like skill set, areas of expertise, but it also includes things like geographic limitations. Like it's good for me to know who the physical. Exactly. Yeah. I want to have an option everywhere on the map around me so that I can point at it and say to the people who live northwest, east, and south of us, this is the closest and most talented provider in your area. We love them. They're great people. But early on, I realized very quickly, both with things like physical therapists and things like club baseball programs, that they have a much more territorial dynamic. And that was a hurdle to get over, because their mindset was, if you're not with me, you're against me. And they didn't take the like rising tide lifts all ships mentality to serving their community, because they saw everybody as a threat who was trying to steal their clients. And I had to be very clear early and often, I don't play that game. And if you are going to ask me not to serve the needs of people from a different club or population, then I'm going to tell you I can't work with your club or population, because we're here to help them all. And it's kind of not a lot different from when Eric signed with the Yankees. I'm absolutely positive he said to them, I'm excited to do this. I'm all in. I want to be a contributor to the Yankees organization, but it's a non-starter if I can't work with athletes from other clubs during the off season through my business. We have 29 other organizations worth of people who kind of trust us, and I'm not going to pull that rug out from under them. So if you guys are at peace with us interfacing with these different populations, then let's do this. And I'm Eric and I have not had this conversation, but I'm certain he did with his employer there. Sure. So these are the kind of things that you need to think about.
Yeah, well, I'll pull out two of those things that you shared, Pete, as I think I just want to repeat them because they were so valuable. One is I love the idea of in getting to know any sort of business partner, whether it's a referral partner or some other sort of collaborative partner, getting into each other's spaces and experiencing each other's services is absolutely a first step. Right. I mean, it actually, because I think what you're doing there is determining, like, are you a culture fit? Or the clients who come to us for hair cutting, massage, chiropractic, whatever it is, in this environment, are they going to feel set up to succeed in your environment? I can go and judge that. Same thing, vice versa. Like, go get your hair cut at that place, go get a massage, go get a chiropractic adjustment, right? And see if they're a fit, because if they're a good culture values fit, then it's likely your clients will have a good experience. I think that's really important. I also love that you said to kind of avoid what's the word I'm looking for?
Exclusives.
Only working, exclusives, right? I was trying to think. And I think people in New York know better to ask us for that ever. So we haven't come across that very often, because everyone's like, yeah, there's a million of everything in New York. You can't be the exclusive anything. But in other markets, I think people might get asked that a lot, right? To say, hey, if I'm going to be the chiropractor who posts on your blog, I have to be the only one you refer. And I love you saying, well, listen, we actually want a menu of different chiropractors to offer our clients, because you might not be the right fit for all kinds of reasons. The approach that you take, your location, your budget, your whatever it is, your schedule. And so I think avoiding that, I think, is really key. And I love that the analogy use of like, we're Switzerland, right? We're just like this neutral space where everyone's invited to the party, and we're going to refer our people out to the people we think are the best fit. And we're not making any promises that you're the only one that we're dating. I think that's super valuable.
Well, I look at that piece almost as if we're like a franchise operator and we are giving an exclusive on a market. Mm-hmm. So I will gladly say to a PT, like, if I establish a relationship with a physical therapist 2 towns directly north of us and I hadn't helped that community, then I stop the search. I'm not going out hunting for the next service provider next door to them. And the point isn't to make them all compete with each other. The point, like I said, this isn't about that service provider, if I'm being honest. This is about my clients. This is making sure that my clients have the least friction possible in interacting with my operation. And sometimes there are complementary pieces that have to happen in conjunction with working with us. And I want to be able to say to them, this is the menu. This is the logical answer for you. And I don't want you to say, oh, those two are less than a mile apart from each other. Which one's better? I don't want to answer that question. I've already done my homework. I picked the one in your area that we're working with. So when somebody, I'm not saying that I won't protect them in their kind of general market. I want to see all of the people that we work with thrive. But also, I'm not going to not work with someone that they dislike,
Yeah. Well, same thing with Business for Unicorns, right? When we talk to our clients ask someone who's a graphic designer or build a website or do marketing. I offer them a few options. I want them to go vet the person and find the right one for them. Same thing in Mark Fisher Fitness. It's like, we have a list of several massage therapists. You should go talk to them. But here's the top 3, right? And I think that's part of what we're trying to offer is some easy options for people we've pre-vetted, but you still get to decide who you spend your time and money with, which I think makes a big difference. And I will say that, the one piece of advice I have for folks who want to do more referral partnerships is really make sure you get clear on how someone gets referred to you by those outside folks. Because too often we don't have a process in place and we rely too heavily on everyone just doing it their own way. Right. But for example, and you all see this every day in your interactions, you listen to other podcasts, and on the podcast, they're like, go to xyzwebsite.com/business for unicorns. And on that page is a referral page for that experience that you just listened to, right? That's, and so I think when you can create a version of that for your referral partners to say, hey, actually, we have a page on our website that's markfisherfitness.com/massage. And when you go to send your clients there, you'll see your name is one of the ones listed at the top, right? It's very easy, and all your clients will come through there. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is because I think that is often a sticking point, is that they don't know what the best way to refer people to you is. So oftentimes people will do it different ways. They'll email you, they'll DM them, they'll say, just go walk over or go call them, which might all be fine. But that also means it's harder for you to track your ROI on that relationship. But when you can have a set stream, a standard way that every person who refers to you, someone from another business, gets processed, then you can kind of say, oh, we got 5 people this month from this chiropractor, 2 this week from the hairstylist, right? It starts to help you understand what are the most valuable relationships you want to keep nurturing.
This piece, I can't echo this one enough as far as helping people understand how to best help you. Because we've had some world-class lead generators for us who create a lot of headaches. And when I think about it in hindsight, the person who, the continuous email I get that so-and-so told me I need to see Eric Cressy. And I'm like, Eric isn't even in our state. He's 1,500 miles away. Because it immediately makes us seem like we're delivering a lesser product.
Yes.
Because the coach that they said they need to talk to isn't even close. But so yes, double on that. I want to give you one more thought kind of in closing coming from me as well. And it is that when you create these business partnerships or offerings, let's say you offer a discounted rate to somebody's clients, or you say, complimentary initial assessments for members of this program. I can't emphasize this enough. Do so with a defined timetable on that offer. Not because you want to take it away from them, but because it does a couple of things. The first is it forces you to service that relationship so that you have to revisit that conversation, even if it's just annually. It could be semi-annually, but you basically have to come back to the table and say, hey, we've been doing this thing. How has it worked for you? Hey, here's how it's worked for me. Here's where there's some potential miscommunications. Do we want to keep rolling with this? But beyond that, it also insulates you from risk, because I had a family. They've been great clients. They've spent like actual tens of thousands of dollars with us over the last 13, 14 years. But a couple years back, I had to say to the dad, I can't keep offering this discounted program rate to you for a club that folded and shut down 7 years ago, just because you came in at this rate and you're saying, I'm owed the Mizuno rate. And so these things just can't exist until the end of time. There needs to be kind of a formal agreement. We're going to offer complimentary services to your clients through the balance of 2022 and 2023. Done. Set a reminder in your calendar, come back to that conversation on December 1st next year and say, hey, I want to re-up this. Let's talk about how we can do it better or make it more compelling to your clients. But if you take a until the end of time approach, you're going to resent servicing that offer at some point.
Yeah, I think it makes a ton of sense. I think it also is just really good marketing to have things that are more time sensitive, right? That if you have a few key partnerships, I'd recommend having offers that expire every quarter, right? And every few months, just jump on a quick 10-minute phone call and be like, hey, we actually got 3 people the last quarter. This is going well. Do you want to repeat or try something new, right? And I think if you can have things that are more time sensitive and urgent, but that's also just kind of good marketing. But I think you're right that in addition, it makes sure that you're nurturing that relationship by having to go back to the table and reflect on what's working and not working, which I think is great. All right, well, let's leave that there, my friend. I think we crushed it. I think we totally did this topic justice. I think there's lots of ways to approach this, but I think business partnerships are valuable for our size business. We're community businesses. Many places gyms are thought of like community centers. So if we're not connected to the community in meaningful ways, and I mean actual partnerships, I think we're doing ourselves a disservice. We're leaving a lot of money on the table. We're leaving a lot of clients on the table. And frankly, we can help other businesses in our community grow, which serve us. Right? If our community's lifted up, to Pete's analogy earlier, right? The rising tide lifts all ships. And I think it's a great way of thinking about this topic. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me, Pete. It was a real blast. Listeners, if you like this podcast, leave us a review. Please share it with your friends. And thanks so much for listening, Pete. I'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Hi again. I want to remind you about an awesome free resource we created for gym owners. Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed in your gym? Just not sure where to put your efforts to get to the next level? Well, head to gymownerreportcard.com and you can access a totally free assessment that will help you identify exactly where to focus your efforts so you can get crystal clear on the next best steps to create the gym of your dreams. One more time, that's gymownerreportcard.com.